is the white-tailed deer. So that number one, you have to know, is white-tailed deer. Deer do not have teeth that eat like this. They only have a hard palate in their upper jaw, and there are teeth in the back. But when they bite, they bite into and pull. So it's not like a rabbit that cuts your plants like this, then they're all neat cuts. It's more torn and jagged when the deer has been in your yard. And that's why, like the little wax begonias, they pull them right out of the ground. And a lot of little plants, they pull right out of the ground because they're pulling that way. And the bucks lose their antlers every year and grow new ones every year. Those aren't on them all the time. When they are growing the new ones, they are very, very sensitive. And they actually aren't as active when they are growing their new antlers because they're so sensitive. And they stay more to themselves because they don't want to hurt these. And there's a lot of blood vessels in there. And that's what they rub off on the trees, and they cause damage on trees because they are rubbing and kind of ripping up the trees a little bit. But they are rubbing the velvet off at that time. So you can see the deer, this one is still kind of fuzzy. And people will tell you there's no way you can get away from it. If you have deer, you're going to have deer, and there's no way you can do it. They're wrong. There are ways, guaranteed ways, to keep the deer out. Don't have any landscaping. Build a brick wall around your house. Or have an electric fence and a barking dog. So if you have any of those, you don't need to worry. But most of us like our gardening, and so we have to figure out ways that we can have a garden and not have deer wreck it. There's all kinds of gizmos, things that let's see. Oh, well, my little light's not working. Oh, here it is. Here it was especially good, but when you think about the deer that are in this park, there are, hundreds of deer, and when we first put the garden up, they wandered around a little bit more than they do now. Now I think they just like, well, it's a waste of time over there. They don't even come over. I'm just going to list some of the plants that are here. The juniper. They never bother. Yeah, that one is also a juniper. And boxwood. Boxwood is, they never ever bother with that. And the shrubs are barberry. I'm so afraid of hitting that button again. This is the Weigelia, beautyberry, and I hope you all saw the beautyberry today. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that something? It sits there being just a regular old green shrub all summer long. It has little itty bitty little flowers that you don't even notice. But now it's like everybody comes up and says, "What's that bush with the purple berries on it?" Beautiful bush. And this is a close-up of it. Bonnie, this is actually your photograph that you did years and years ago. And Grolo, sumac, and spirea. These are things that we have in the garden. The annuals, we get kind of tired of the annuals that we have have to use, but we try to use them in different ways. But at least we can have animals. Most of them, the deer will bother. This profusion zinnia is a small one. It's not the tall zinnia. But the tall zinnias, the deer don't bother, but we find that they have a lot more problems with mold, mildew, and we don't have the time, and we're not here all the time to really take care of them properly. But these profusion zinnias work fantastic with no care. Ageratum, snapdragon, salvia, and this year we used a salvia that's called Victoria. It's the blue one. That's the one that's out there that's so tall. Several people have asked me, but that's a favorite of ours. Normally, marigolds, we bought 4 flats of marigolds for the front display of our garden, and we have a groundhog. And the groundhog chewed them all down to a no. And so we ended up pulling them all out and rearranging the blue salvia to fill in a little bit better. But groundhogs are another problem. They eat everything.
Who's one that ate our?
If you want to pet one, we got one.
Who's one that ate all our? What was it that we in our buckets last year? Was it
The groundhog.
was it thyme or sage or something we had in there? Some herb that we had in there. We were kind of surprised they ate that and ate the rest of it.
Yeah, they have eaten almost everything. They love the purple coneflower, but they didn't do too much damage with that today. And alyssum. Alyssum is a real good one. And you know, there is a new alyssum out now that gets to be this big, and the flowers are bigger. They are a beautiful, beautiful plant. We use alyssum a lot because we usually use them for old, and they're the small, old, just the regular alyssum. But if you look for the newer, bigger ones, they are gorgeous. Now, you'll notice I have put native written on these. I'm going to talk about some natives next, but these are native deer-resistant plants. The bee balm, and this is the native bee balm. This one is still considered a native. It's one called something. I don't remember. Black-eyed Susans and butterfly weed. Everybody should have butterfly weed in their garden, and I hear so many people say, well, I don't like orange. It just really, it perks up a garden very, very nicely. Iris, bearded iris are good. Yarrow, this is a little pink yarrow, and this is a real tall, bright yellow. I mean, this is pink, this is yellow. Anna's hyssop is wonderful, and it's wonderful for butterflies. Catnip, lamb's ear. This is catnip. This is out in my backyard. I mean, look how pretty that is. How can you not like that? Chuck might say he doesn't like that. He's the one that has to cut it down. What we do with it, after it starts looking a little tacky, you'll still have a few blooms you have to sacrifice. Cut it down real hard. And it'll look kind of tacky for a week or so, but then all of the new growth will make it look like a nice new little bush with the new leaves, and then it will have flowers again. So cut it down hard. It really makes a difference.
Diane,
Yeah.
what month would you cut that down to get that new growth and flower again?
I don't know. I really don't know. Because sometimes it's different. I just wait until this starts looking tacky.
Okay.
That's my clue.
Maybe June, July.
Okay.
Yeah. They start looking kind of tacky.
I saw them too with mine, I let them go. I've had whole flocks of finches come down and just pick all the seeds right off them.
Oh, yeah.
Which I had no idea.
Well, I try to get rid of them by then because they do, they will start little seedlings, not bad, but, lady's mantle, this one, Baptisia, variegated, this one is so pretty. This picture doesn't show it off how nice it is. When you go outside, as you're looking at the trellis going into the gardens, not the far one, the first trellis there, to the right is a variegated caryopteris, and it is spectacular. It has little tiny blue flowers, but I don't buy it for the flowers. I buy it for the leaves and for the white variegation on it. Bleeding hearts look nice all summer, especially this one looks nice all summer. The old-fashioned one, that will kind of die back a little if you have a lot of sun. And Corylus is a wonderful plant. Not that thing looks good. We have it in yellow and white. They're in the pollinator garden. We have that on. That looks nice from the time it starts until the end of summer. Did any of the volunteers take a couple of, I brought a couple in. How did yours do?
Well, very little yet. So
Yeah.
They didn't do them or anything.
Okay, but they're a nice little healthy looking plant.
Yeah, they're making it.
Are these still beer resistant?
And a stilby is, they leave that alone. And now if you have to, if the deer bothering you are hostas, those hostas just act like bait. And you have to think of them as bait, because as long as you have them and you have deer, they're going to eat them. You can try to trick them and put them into a spot like, deer are pretty, they stay in a pretty strict habit of which way they come into your yard and where they go. If you know they never come around over on this side of the house, maybe you can put some hostas over there. But, maybe 3 years down the road, one of the babies is, getting a little frisky. I don't want to go where Mom says, I'm going over here. So, they might find it, but it would be safe for a couple of years. And, but if you like a leaf that looks like a hosta, this one here is Jack Frost, and it gives you the big leaf that you might want. And this is another variation of this plant, Brunera. It's beautiful little blue forget-me-not flowers. Ground covers or sedum, but only these short sedum. Don't try to put that autumn joy sedum. They will eat that. Hens and chicks, the juga, mania. I mean, that's pretty. That's bee balm and yarrow and purple coneflower, and this is the Russian sage.
yeah.
Now, Russian sage, I didn't have a picture of it. Russian sage is guaranteed.
Was that pretty?
Russian sage, they never ever bother because it's got a bad taste. Yeah, I mean, it looks nice. This, some of you girls from Friendly Garden Club know Pat Grady, who is in that garden club. Pat Grady was a volunteer years ago, and she donated these iris, and they're very pretty color. If you have a problem, or if you know someone who has a problem, the best list you can get is Rutgers University puts out, it takes about, I don't know, 6 or 8 pages to copy it, but go to Rutgers on Google and put Rutgers University deer-resistant plants. And it comes right up, and there's it's the best list you could ever have. So refer that to anybody you know with a deer problem. It lists it, which plants are never bothered, which plants are sometimes bothered, and sometimes a lot bothered. So you have to figure out, you know, what kind of a problem you've got. If you've got a really tough problem, you stay with all those plants in your top category. If you just have a little bit of a problem, you can try the other list. But those are all deer resistant. Everything outside of the fence out there is deer resistant plants. And remember that deer resistant doesn't mean deer repellent. Some people seem to think if you put forget-me-nots or the bleeding hearts out right here, the deer, you know, going to chase the deer away. No, it doesn't chase them away.